So today I'm going to be talking about spiritual immorality. Um, it's kind of a rant video, so if you don't like rant videos, then I'm sorry today. um, Before I start talking about all the things I'm going to be talking about in this video, I think it's very important disclaimer to make that anybody who, okay, to me, spirituality is a very personal thing. Like, how I experience spirituality is probably not going to be exactly how you may experience spirituality, or whoever down the street experiences spirituality. So what I'm trying to say is, which is very important, anybody who is saying things to you or saying something spiritually, you need to take everything that they say with a grain of salt. Like, I don't want you to be listening to me talking right now and being like, oh, that Ayana Sanciovi, she's like so right. She knows everything. Like, everything she says, like, I just agree with it so much. And I just, oh my gosh, like, she knows so much about this stuff. Like, I really look up to her, and oh my gosh, she's such a resource for this stuff. Please just don't hang on my every word. What I would prefer you to do, what I do, is just, I listen to many things. There's people who speak about spiritual stuff, and I respect them, and I am interested to hear their take on things, but I never just absorb it all in to be like, this is true, like, this person is the person who just knows everything about it. Because, like I said, spirituality is very personal. And again, I guess that's an opinion too, so take that with a grain of salt. But I just want you to be very wary of that sort of thing. Like, you can listen to people's opinions and be like, hey, they have an interesting take on this thing that I'm interested in. Or, I didn't know that was even like a thing you could even think. And maybe I'm being very unclear right now on what I'm trying to say, but please just don't take anybody's word, anybody who's talking about spiritual things, to be like, this is the way it is. Because really, does anybody really know? I don't know. So with that said, I want to begin the video. Like I said, this is a rant. And spiritual immorality is like the best thing I could think of to name it. Maybe that isn't really what this video is going to be about, but let me just go ahead and start with this, why I made this video anyway. So the catalyst was that I was watching a video about astrology, kind of a video. There was like a horoscope kind of thing, and they were talking about like what to look out for next month, or like the astrology ness that's going on next month, for example. And this happened a long time ago. This happened like many months ago, actually, so it's not exactly recent, but I feel like it can be applied to recent things. And it still bothers me, really, to this day. So I wanted to talk about it with y'all, because I know you get it. So, and so in the video, the person had drew a tarot card. Okay. But the specific card that they drew was like, I'm not going to say it because it's triggering for me to say it, and it's probably going to be triggering for you to hear it, but it's the card that is not good at all and only has negative connotation. I'm not going to say what it is. I will only say, in case you don't know which one I'm talking about still, it starts with a T. Okay? Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, so they drew this card and they said, this is what is going to be coming up ahead. And I got so uncomfortable. I don't even know if it was mad. I was just like, I just shut down. I was like, what the heck? Like, that's so tacky. Like, what the heck? Is probably what I just kept saying. Because I feel like this person had put some negative spiritual thing onto my path. And I just felt really offended and triggered, and it was bad vibes that I feel like they just threw out there to me and to everybody else who was watching the video. And I just thought that was so whack. Like, that was so tacky. So that bothered me a whole bunch, and I wanted to make a video about it. And that got me thinking, like, okay, what other things, like, do people do spiritually that might be questionable, or not cool? And again, this is an opinion video. I do want to hear your opinion, but again, if there's anything that I'm saying that you just don't vibe with it, then just act like I didn't say it or take it out of your brain. And the things that do resonate with you, okay, that resonates with you. So the first thing I want to talk about is tarot cards versus oracle cards. I have a tarot deck. And I don't dislike tarot. I don't hate on tarot. I don't have anything not good to say about tarot. For example, I use the cards. I feel like it's the ones that I get when I ask certain questions. I like the answer, I guess you could say, or I think the answer is, it's true. Like, I don't think it's baloney, like, or anything like that, because I know some people are skeptical of tarot cards or think that I think it's fair to say most people are fearful of divination because they don't know what it's coming from, and so they think it's like evil witchcraft. But I personally think that divination comes from yourself. The way I think of spirituality is that it's all coming from me, like, and that might be really like an arrogant thing to say, but it's how I feel. I don't know. If you have an opinion on that, please leave it in the comments, because I would love to hear about it. But yeah, tarot cards versus oracle cards. I was saying that I personally prefer to use oracle cards, like cards that let me think about how to say this. So I feel like tarot cards, they, like I was saying in the beginning, some of them have negative messages on it, and I don't necessarily think that I like that. As a matter of fact, like that T card I was talking about, that bothers me to my core. Like, I don't like that. Oracle cards, however, I like them because they have so much positivity on them, and like they're all good messages, or at least neutral messages. And I like that. So another thing about spiritual immorality that I want to talk about is when people have that kind of like beware kind of like attitude, I guess, or I don't know, when people say like, stay away from the water, like when people use it in a way to scare people, or even if they're not doing it on purpose, but what they're saying is like scary, but like objectively scary, like don't go in the water because something will happen or something like that. I think that's so whack. I think that's so tacky. Like, what is that gonna do besides for scare people and place negative vibes on their path? And I'm just so against that. Obviously, you can tell from this video. That really bothers me. Because then it's also like, okay, for how long? Like, when can I go into the water? You know what I mean? Like, that's just so whack. I don't like when people do that. Another thing about spiritual immorality that I wanted to talk about is Mercury retrogrades. So I personally do not want to know when it's Mercury retrograde. I feel like knowing that it's happening or reading about it, like, that makes me develop a fear or feel like, okay, well, great. Now every time I freaking try to talk to people, it's gonna be a negative experience. Or, oh, great, now I won't be able to start something new. Thanks a lot. You know what I mean? So I personally, like I said, I don't want to know if it's Mercury retrograde. I just want to get out of Mercury retrograde and be like, oh, that was Mercury retrograde? Huh, it wasn't as bad as it would have been if I was worried about it every 5 seconds. So the next thing I want to talk about that I have in my notes is what I think spirituality should be used for or to do. I think spirituality should be used as something you can focus on that will make your life better in a way. For example, when an oracle card says something that's like encouraging, I think that's really cool. Or says something that is affirming or resonates, I think that's a really cool thing. And where the stakes aren't that high, like, for example, if an oracle card says like, for example, if an oracle card says brilliant idea, which is, I don't know what the deck is, but I've seen this card around and it's really positive to me. As a creative person, I really resonate with that. And it's like, oh, I do have a brilliant idea, or maybe I should think about what's in my mind that I need to record. That, like, is there something in my mind that is trying to get out, that's trying to speak, that wants to be known, you know? And again, I'm just translating that to mean something to me as a creative person. But it's just an example. When an oracle card says something encouraging, I think that's really cool. And it'll only can do good. Like, it's nothing negative, like it's only a good thing. And I think that's cool. And I have written here as well, makes you feel bright and carrying a radiance for that week or that month. I don't know if any of y'all have ever experienced a synchronicity and then you just feel so happy afterwards, or you feel like, wow, like you see the magic in the world, I guess is a way to say it. And I just think that's a really beautiful thing. So that's gonna be it. If anything at all that I've said in this video, like, you have like something to say about it, some kind of response to it, please leave it in the comments, because I really, really do want to hear what other people think about these kind of things. this kind of thing. I think that's always interesting to just hear people who also would be calling themselves self-proclaimed spiritual people, and just see like what other people think. I think that's interesting to me. So yeah, that's gonna be it on this video of spiritual immorality. Thank you so much for listening.